Hello and welcome to another video of Breaking Bad English with me, David. As you can see in this video, I'm in my kitchen because I would like to talk about the things we can see in the kitchen and vocabulary for those things. So let me start with what was once called white appliances. White appliances were larger things in the kitchen like fridges and freezers. But these days, they don't have to be white anymore, they are various colours. So first of all, have a look here. This is a fridge. Inside the fridge we have items which we want to keep cool, but not freezing. So that part is the fridge, and down here is the freezer. The freezer contains frozen vegetables, etc., ice cream, things like that, which we want to keep below 0 degrees Celsius. So the combined unit is called a fridge freezer. Next to that we have an oven. This is called an oven. It is used for heating things, roasting food, etc. And above it is a microwave. The full name is actually a microwave oven, but these days we refer to these appliances as just a microwave. Moving around to larger things in the kitchen, here we have a gas hob. It's called a hob. We put pans on it and pots, and we heat up food within those pots and pans. This is a gas one. The energy or the supply to it is gas, and we light it and it heats up the food in the pots and pans. Above it is what we call a hood, an extractor hood. Actually, this is called a recirculating extractor hood. And it pulls up the smell of the food within it, it filters it and stops the kitchen smelling. What else have we got? So here we have a coffee machine, which is good for cappuccino or things like espresso. Next to it, a kettle, which is probably the most often used device in a kitchen. And next to that also we have a toaster, which is for bread, of course. We put bread in that and toast it. On the other side here we have what's known as the sink. The sink is where we put dirty plates and things into to wash them up. This here is called a tap. In the USA they refer to that as a faucet. Actually, there's something hidden here which is another larger appliance which we call a dishwasher. So this is a dishwasher. We put dishes in it, also knives and forks and spoons, etc., and we switch it on and it washes all those things for us automatically. Wonderful. Now this is a fitted kitchen, which means that the units are fitted to the walls and the floor. They cannot move. So a fitted kitchen is what is in most modern houses these days, or flats for that matter. Here I have something else. It's a cafetiere. So it's something for making coffee. And here I have a modern type of tea diffuser. You put tea leaves within the middle, pour hot water in, and you have nice tea. On the other side here I have a more conventional type of teapot. And here we have some jars containing sugar, etc., salt, things like that. I have a soda stream machine here, which is good for putting bubbles into drinks and making them fizzy. Over here I have a smoothie maker, which is good for making smoothies with fruit and milk and yogurt, etc., which should be very healthy. And here I have a bread slicer, which is quite nice. I have a couple of fruit containers here. This is a fruit basket and this is a fruit bowl. It's made of glass, so there's a difference between the two words basket and bowl. What else can I see in the kitchen? Well, obviously we have something called cutlery. Cutlery are things like spoons, knives and forks, and we keep them in this drawer here. Teaspoons as well, of course. And also have crockery. So cutlery are those things, and crockery are these things. Crockery are things like plates, bowls, which we use for eating off of. Some other things in the kitchen. Here I have a spatula, which is used when we fry things and we can remove things from the pan, etc. I have a knife block there, which we keep knives in. Something else. I would call this a chopping board, so we can put food on here, for example meat, and we can cut the meat into small pieces. A very useful surface. Here I have a sort of garlic grating type of device. You take a piece of garlic and you rub it hard on there, and you produce grated garlic. And this thing here is called a whisk, which we use for actually whisking things like flour and water, etc., to make some dough, let's say. What else can I see? Anything in particular? Here we have a wine rack. I can call it a wine rack, where we can keep wine. We also have another wine rack up here, the wine up there, and one more thing here, which is these days quite useful, a wok. So it's a Chinese word, but we use the same word in English, a wok. And of course I have a drawer here. Notice the word drawer, and I will write it below how it's written. A drawer with some pots and pans in. This is a frying pan. Okay. And this again is a type of pan or pot, which you can use, for example, for cooking peas and carrots and things like that. So that's about it. These are work surfaces, by the way, and the work surfaces are very useful, obviously, for preparing food. That's a kitchen. If you have any questions about any of the things you can see in my kitchen, please write to me below, and have a look at my next video too. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And I look forward to seeing you again on another video of Breaking Bad English with me, David. Goodbye.